Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you're new, then I'd like to welcome you to the family. So this video is about how to answer a literature question. We're going to focus on Jekyll and Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. I will tell you this is the AQA focus, so it's based on the AQA exam questions, but it can be applied to any of the exam boards. So here is an extract and an example. I'll read it out and then we'll go through what I think should be done. It was a fine dry night, frost in the air. The streets were as clean as a ballroom floor. The lamps, unshaken by any wind, drawing a regular pattern of light and shadow. By 10 o'clock, when the shops were closed, the by-street was very solitary and, in spite of the low growl of London from all around, very silent. Small sounds carried far. Domestic sounds out of the houses were clearly audible on either side of the roadway, and the rumour of the approach of any passenger preceded him by a long time. Mr. Utterson had been some minutes at his post when he was aware of an odd light footstep drawing near. So, here's the question. Using the extract as a starting point, explain how Stevenson creates a mysterious setting. What are the two main things that you should focus on in the question? First thing you should focus on is the word how. And the second thing is creates mysterious setting. Those are the two things that they are asking you to actually answer in this question. What they want you to be looking at is language features, words and phrases, and sentence forms. So, here is some context to use. Context is any and all relevant background information that will help you understand why the writer has done something. So, it shows why the writer did something based on the things that influenced them at the time that they were writing. It also determines how the original audience would have reacted to the text. So Victorian people were not normally out and about after a certain time, as it was considered unsavoury. London was a populated city with a lot of people and was rarely quiet, so the reference to quiet streets was a good way for the writer to set a mood of mystery and expectation. Gothic novels, which Jekyll and Hyde is, have several features, including the mysterious setting and the supernatural. So I'm going to give you the extract again with certain parts highlighted. These parts are the things that I personally would pick out in order to help me answer the question. Remember, in your own exam, write why you have highlighted something and how it answers the question. So first thing, the streets as clean as a ballroom floor. That we all know is a simile. This suggests that the streets were empty. No one was around. This sets the scene and gives a feeling of expectation. The lamps, unshaken by any wind, draw in a regular pattern of light and shadow. This would be classed as words and phrases. It could be that you find another feature in there, but this is how I would see it. So street lamps of the time were flames, which were not that bright. Furthermore, if there's no wind, the fact that they were moving would create an unfriendly, almost eerie atmosphere. The use of the words light and shadow are contrasting, and also adds to the setting, as fearful and scary things are normally found in shadows. In spite of the low growl of London from all around, very silent. It's a juxtaposition and personification. So the use of low growl insinuates that the city is a sleeping beast that can be woken. The juxtaposition of growl and silent gives an impression of otherness in the street. This specific street is not like the others of the city. Small sounds carried far. Sibilance. The use of sibilance creates a spooky feeling and makes the reader anticipate something is going to happen, especially as the writer said it carried far. The rumour of the approach of any passenger preceded him by a long time. The use of the word rumour feels like it's a possibility rather than something concrete. The fact that the approach would be heard adds a sense of fear and mystery to what the reader should expect. Odd light footsteps drawing near. Light suggests a stealthy approach, whereas odd implies something unnatural. Remember, Hyde is always portrayed as something other and not quite human. As the footsteps draw near, the reader is drawn into the drama of the novel and the mysterious atmosphere. Wider text. Remember, you need to refer to the rest of the text. You'll be given an extract, but you also need to refer to the text as a whole. Stevenson uses the fog to create a mysterious atmosphere. Hyde can use the fog to hide himself in. Most of Hyde's appearances are at night time, when the respectable gentleman would be at home and not on the streets. Furthermore, in the mind of the audience, bad things happen at night and therefore are negative connotations. So London had very twisted, narrow streets where you couldn't see around the corner. Similar to the way the text twists and you don't know what will happen next. You will need to have a bank of quotes in order to help answer you the work on the wider text. So things to remember. Every point you make must be backed up with evidence. Like I said, you need to have a quote bank. That is what's going to save you. So relevant context will never harm your work, as long as the context helps answer the question of why the audience would feel something or how the writer used it to create some sort of feeling. It's always going to be to your advantage. 4 sentences. That seems obvious, but you need to remember to actually finish your sentences and not just leave it hanging. So when talking about words and phrases, remember you can mention what kind of word they are. So adjectives, verbs, adverbs, etc. So go with your feelings. You are right. You have to remember that everything you think is correct as long as you have the evidence to back it up, because it's your feelings as the reader. So, was this helpful? Let me know about all the good points, the bad points, and anything you want me to go over. Any and all feedback is appreciated, and hopefully I will see you guys next time.